In terms of your own coaching, what's your style yourself? Like, and how much is boxing coaching down to do with getting inside the boxer's mind and basically telling him or her that, you know, he or she is great, and how much of it is to do with actual coaching techniques?
I think a lot, like in boxing, the training, and the training is probably 80% physical, 20% mental, but when you're fighting, it's completely different. It's 80% mental and 20% physical, and you could probably relate, because it's like horse racing. You have a horse trainer, but then you also have a jockey, you know, and in a fight sense, you're more of a jockey because you got to steer them through this fight. But I think confidence is huge, and giving a fighter confidence, even if it's not, even if they haven't, like, I don't think I would come down too hard on them if they haven't performed well, but because you have to understand what they're going through, and when you're coaching them day in and day out, you can see that and how much of a struggle it is. And if they haven't had a good day, you probably know why. Yeah. You're probably as much, not to blame for it, but you're probably as much a reason for it as well if you've been pushing them hard or what. But it's different. And in terms of my style, like I'm coaching the two lads now, Paddy Donovan and Jason Quigley. I'm still finding my style because I'm still new to it as well. But you definitely, it's definitely giving them confidence, but also knowing what's expected of them. In terms of like Paddy, he had his first fight last week, so it's still a new experience for him. But in interviews and in things I've been saying, even in passing when he's been in earshot, letting him know what's expected of him. He had a first-round knockout, and even though he was delighted with it, and I was quite happy with it as well, but I wanted to let him know that was what you're supposed to do. Yeah, that's your job.
You can't get too high about this because, you know, like if he celebrates that and he's in his head, he's going out, oh yeah, I'm great, like, well.
Yeah, and you could see when he won, there was no jumping on the top rope, or, you know, cheering, because, listen, this is...
How was he received in Belfast?
Very good. He's only a kid, he's 20 years old, but he has... people are attracted to him. He's got a charisma, you know, something about him. But like before I even had a fight, I would take him with me to other professional fights, and people would like queuing up to get a photograph with him, and he hadn't even had a fight yet, you know. So he's got a bit of star quality. He has
a bit of a kind of a movie star look about him as well, doesn't he? And you're telling me boxing goes through the family, like at least 2 generations.
Yeah, well, I was telling you before, his dad has his grandfather has a Mike Tyson facial tattoo, so I guess he had to box. There was no there was no option for him.
His background is interest from the travelling community as well, and without, like, I suppose, going into it too much because we don't have time really, but he must have the potential to be an icon for travelling people, because this guy obviously is seriously, potentially very good.
In this country, definitely. He has the ability to, like, he has the ability to be a star in boxing at world level, you know.
Really?
Yeah, definitely. But he has to keep his feet on the ground, and me saying all these things aren't gonna. Yeah. You know, he has to keep. That's his main challenge now, is living the lifestyle outside of the ring, when he's not in the gym, and working hard, and just remaining focused. Because you can see somebody like him he's a good-looking young kid, a young lad, and. Like, could easily go to his head, you know, easy. But yeah, he has a heritage of boxing. All his brothers are European champions, like world medalists as amateurs. His dad was a good fighter, and yeah, he has serious talent.
How much within the travelling community in general? How boxing's obviously quite like a few travellers have come out and be proper boxers. So there is a kind of I suppose an inclination there to get into boxing.
Well, I know myself. It leads the travelling way of life and boxing. They kind of go hand in hand, because you're from a disadvantage, not a disadvantage, but yeah, disadvantaged background.
You are, and absolutely.
So you grow up with a chip on your shoulder, and you always feel like you're not made. You've always made to feel like you're not equal, and so with that, you always want to prove yourself and show that you're equal, and then in boxing, show that you're actually better than equal, and so. Like a kind of, like, boxing thrives in disadvantaged backgrounds. You know, you look at any tough area in the world, if there's a boxing gym, that'll be success. And there's no, like, I don't think, the two things are there's definitely correlation, because it's a way out, and you don't need a lot of expensive gear to be a boxer. You can just turn up, and also, yeah, I think, but particularly in the travelling world, because it's a male, in a way, it is still a male-dominated society, very old-fashioned, like, in terms of the social dynamic, and it's an alpha male kind of, amongst men, like, weakness is not really shown, you know, and so you have to be strong. That's, for good or bad, that's the way it is at the moment, and that leads to breeding good fighters.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating because I did a piece last Friday on Castlereagh Prison, that they brought in this horse welfare system where horses are brought into the prison, and about 30% of the population in Castlereagh are travellers, so it's quite a, but because people recognise in racing that travellers have a great affinity with the horses, they want to bring these guys back into society, so let them kind of work as if they're in a stable and live a normal life, and hopefully racing will benefit, and the guys in the prison, be they travellers or non-travellers, can then have some purpose as well, and I thought it was a fantastic initiative.
We've done a piece in here with Nicholas Cruz, the Cuban coach, he's teaching in Portlaoise prison now, boxing and meditation in Spanish. And what an outlet that is, like, for rehabilitation.